Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Prairie Banana here. Welcome to the good old days. These are the good old days, guys. And they're getting gooder and gooder. Go vote for the Grays currencies on PLS Folio right now. It's in the chat. PLSfolio.com. Go vote right now. Let me share my screen and show you what it looks like. If you haven't been there yet, you need to go there and vote. Why? Because the Grays just got overtaken. pTGC in particular just got overtaken by our competitor, our friendly competitor. We're in the number 2 spot. We only need 14 to rank up. Come on, guys. You can vote from any IP, and I just remembered. So I have been delinquent also on voting. You know, what is this? What is that? Sorry, guys. I don't know where that came from. I honestly do not know. Okay, I got to get into the Telegram. There's a link in the Telegram, guys. Just click on the link. It'll bring you straight to this page. It takes like, cool. Thank you, CC 9339er. Good man. We can be number 1 again in about 2 shakes of a rabbit's tail if we get with it. Come on now. It's not working. Come on. My phone, and I'm streaming. I know this, so I'm like nervous and stuff. Why? Why should I be nervous? There's only 4,000 people watching me now. There's only 12 so far. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, go hit that PLSfolio.com. I'm going to put the full URL. Am I rattled by this? Absolutely not, guys. Listen, my opinion. We could literally sit back, drink our cold drink or our hot tea from this point all through the cycle, all through alt season. And we'd probably just watch our bags get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not even kidding. But if they didn't, and we sat on our haunches, I think we would be kicking ourselves. Wouldn't you? I mean, I would be kicking myself. I'm like, why didn't you take advantage of the opportunity while you had it? To what? Vote on PulseFolio and keep the Grays on number 1 in their deserved spot. I hate to use, I don't even like using the term deserved. I don't even know that we earned it. I just think we belong there. I do. We're an index of everything good on the chain. We need to be there. People need to see the Grays in their rightful place. So let's get us there. Extra PLSX. Have you voted on, put a 1 in the chat, guys, if you voted on PulseFolio.com, PLSfolio.com. The link is in the chat. You can vote twice a day from each IP, meaning your computer, your devices, like I just did. Good man. Good man. I love it. So let's see. We're 14. Let's get our eyes on it. 14 from number 1. Let's see how many we got now. Woo! 8. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. We got to getting charged up here. Okay, I'm going to try to mention this again, like further on in the stream, but if somebody will remind me, if I forget, let's remind like midway, like an hour from now or less, let's remind people to vote at plsfolio.com. We need, and UFO needs some love too, guys. Make sure you vote. UFO is getting more votes. That's great. It is going to move up probably to that top row. Okay, it's going to be in the top row. It's heading that way, but we want both of them. We want pTGC number 1, UFO number 2, or vice versa. I'm not going to accept anything less. I'm not accepting anything less. Let's go to Twitter, shall we? Should we go to Twitter? Yeah, we should go to Twitter. Let's have some fun. Guys, where is my Twitter? Where's my computer? Hold on. You know how uber prepped I get before my streams, right? Jamie Lance, good to see you. Have I seen you before Jamie, I don't recall seeing you before, but I like your gold ring. Oh, I need to be promoting those. Well, I'm going to work on I have lots of work to do on my presentation. So that's one thing that's going to be in all the slides. I have so many slides and I keep getting derailed, guys, about getting them fixed up. All right, let's go to, if you haven't seen this, let's go to Richard Hart. You guys got to see it. Everybody's seen it. I know. I saw it this morning on my mobile device, and then I haven't seen it since. So let's go through it real quick. Look at that, guys. Let's have a look at this. Free coins, PulseChain.com, reliable, hex.com, free coins. It's all the way around, all the way around. Oh, pump.tires is there. New coins. New free coins, PulseChain, free coins, PulseChain, reliable. New coins, pump.tires. Oh, it's just the same thing with new coins and pump.tires on one end, on the sides. And I hope they come with a smiley face. That will be a beautiful touch. Beautiful. PulseChain logo, hex logo. Doesn't get any better than that, guys. Branding right there. When they open the package, they're going to be exposed to PulseChain branding, hex, PulseChain. How many times do I need to say it? It's just, when I saw this, I was in my truck this morning at about 5 a.m. and I opened my phone. I'm getting, catching up. I hollered a couple times. This is, I don't know. This is so exciting, guys. This is what's happening. Richard Hart is endearing himself to everyone, every recipient of one of these. How so? It's a 50-cent item. It's maybe 75 cents. I don't know. It's cheap. You can have them manufactured in bulk for very inexpensively, I am sure. Relative to his wealth, it's almost nothing. But from a consumer standpoint, if I got one of these in the mail, has anybody gotten anything equal or more than this thing in the mail for free from somebody you didn't know? I haven't. I really don't. I was trying to think, I've been around a while, but I don't think that I've received anything as valuable in a sense as this. It's only worth $1. Let's call it $1, but it's useful, right? I can hand it to my 5-year-old and he's going to have a blast, or she's going to have a blast, and then I can stick it under my refrigerator and no longer have to, as long as it has a magnet on the back, or I can fix it on, I can get a magnet, but we've got a grocery list. When you run out of something, you're supposed to write it on the list, that we need to go get it. That would work. And guess what? It's going to work for many, many households. It's going to be there in the refrigerator. And then when families come for Thanksgiving and the holidays and they're milling about in the kitchen, guess what they're going to see? This attractive looking thing on the fridge or wherever people place it. If they do, 20 out of 21, out of a lot of millions of households, there's going to be a lot of refrigerators with those things around and eyeballs. So guess what we're going to do? We are going to leverage this opportunity to try to intercept people for the greatest currencies. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to intercept people coming out of PulseChain. How are we going to do that? We're going to offer a free 1-hour educational, as Zen put it. Oh, how did he put it? PulseChain help desk. PulseChain help desk. Who can make me a thumbnail? Make me a thumbnail. You just better email me quick or message me quick because I'm going to reach out to somebody. And I'm doing this thing probably Thursday. I don't see why we shouldn't do it. I'm going to do it Thursday. 1-hour class on PulseChain. Not just PulseChain, but how to onboard, how to get onto PulseChain. What is crypto? We got to expect new people, right? So that's what we're going to gear it towards. Extra Pulse X. I don't know why people neglect UFO. I feel like we need more advertising towards that gem. That is one thing, Extra Pulse X, that I am just kind of sitting back and I'm just going to let it happen. In a sense, my focus right now is the grays, obviously, pTGC. And that, we're going to talk about UFO here in a little while. It is absolutely a gem. But pTGC, if people discover pTGC, they'll discover UFO. And I am 1000% open to the narrative flipping and UFO being the number one talked about thing. You've heard my rant about the UFO versus pTGC, I'm sure. I hate to be the one, but I went to it, but I didn't see where you vote. Oh, it's okay, man. Scroll down. It's okay. You got to scroll down. Oh, let me show it to you. People have asked. You're not the only one that's asked. Like, go here and click. And it'll pull up, all right? And then you select. So you can vote every 12 hours. Hi, Zen. You can vote every 12 hours. So the hard part is getting yourself into the habit of doing it every 12 hours. Especially when you get interrupted by weekends. Dreadful weekends. They just interrupt our routines, don't they? It's okay. I'm just kidding. All right, I want to show you guys a tweet I put out yesterday because we were speculating about these devices and just the impact. It was a fun Spaces yesterday. If you guys weren't here, we talked quite a bit about the devices. We didn't even know what they were then. We had some idea, I think, but the devices. And by the way, guys, if you guys have any ideas, for intercepting people coming onto the chain, this is it, guys. We're going to leverage the energy. Richard Hart spent probably tens of millions of dollars on this marketing campaign. Yeah, at least tens of millions. And we are not going to let this opportunity fall to the wayside and look back and think, oh, well, I wish we would have. Oh, man, we could have. We're not going to do that. We are going to do something. And I had a friend who was always like, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything. I'm like, I don't think, on occasion, sure. But, in this instance, it's like, if you don't know what to do something. We're going to do something. And then once you do that something and you figure out, it's like you walk through the door. First, you got to walk through the door. And once you get to the other side, you see what's there. But you're not going to see what's on the other side until you go through the door. So we're going through the door. And once we get to the other side, we'll pivot and do whatever we think is reasonable and prudent to continue the effort to try to bring people into PulseChain. But we're going to get behind Richard Hart. We're going to support his marketing efforts and make ourselves. People are being endeared to him and to PulseChain, right? But they don't know some of the drama that happens in our community and on Twitter and such. So we're going to be there to be a sweet smelling savor when they come in. That's my intention. Damian Thrash, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, everybody go vote at plsfolio.com. I got to get off that hobby horse. Let's look at this tweet that I put out in kind of response to the postcards and such. Had a little fun. I was a little distracted on the Spaces yesterday, but that's very normal. All right. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Man, I don't think I post very much, but it seems like I post rather much. All right, watch this. I'm going to summarize this. So I'm going to try to. You got 400 mailers going out every week. Why? Because the limited manpower. I don't know. I'm guessing 400,000 a week. It might be. I don't know. This is just an example, guys. Estimated response rate, 3%. It could be more. It could be less. Like somebody was saying on Spaces, it could be less. Why? Because it's difficult to get onto the chain. Well, that's why the Prairie Banana is going to be streaming about this, and maybe some other people too. New users a week, that would amount to 12,000 new users a week. If each one of them brings just $1,000 onto the chain, the impact would be a 5x on PLS, a 50x on pTGC if we continue the 10x against PulseChain. That would be a 50x on pTGC, 50x on UFO by when? Like next week, guys. Next week. I'm kind of joking, but I mean, this is happening. All right. you kind of want, you never want to be to the place where you're looking back, because hindsight's 2020, where you're looking back and realizing, oh man, why didn't I see this coming? Well, we have been told, we see what's coming. Is it 1000% guarantee? Absolutely not. But we're going to be ready for it. So mailers, if that continued, that 12,000 people onboarding with just $1,000 every week for 25 weeks, that'd be 1,000x for PulseChain, 10,000x for pTGC. If we continue at the 10x against PulseChain, 10,000x on UFO, that'd put pTGC at $4.41, UFO 28 cents. All right. To your point, extra PLSX. Which of these two tokens is the best deal right now? It is UFO. You can get more bang for your buck potentially in UFO because it's the most undervalued right now. Will it ever go to parity? We don't know. But that's the potential of this marketing campaign. And that's just, listen, guys, there's so many things that are going to be happening that make this, I'm looking at the scenario on my Twitter, that make this a low estimate. Okay. Yes, the response rate at 3%, it's aggressive, but I just want to be kind of realistic because look, the zip codes, I'm certain that these cards are going to these postcards ain't going to the ghetto. Okay. You feel me? They're going to people there. It's going to people that have money, deep pockets, people that like to invest, people that, well, they went to college. They know how to manage their money and they want to make their money grow. So they're going to, chunk in $1,000. They're going to watch it grow and they're going to watch the chain grow. And they're like, after a week, they'll be like, wow, this chain, my bag grew by 10% or whatever it is. And be like, wow, let's throw another $1,000 or $10,000. And then he's talking to some guy at work, his boss or his buddy. And his buddy's one of those guys that keeps money under the mattress. And he's like, I kind of see how this money under my mattress ain't helping me. And he's going to throw in $500,000, into PulseChain. And then, they're sitting around the break room and they're bragging about all the money that they're making on PulseChain. And just like I was doing, onboarding people back at the top of Hex last cycle, dude, I onboarded some people at the top. Unfortunately, these people that are receiving these gifts are going to be doing the same thing, onboarding their friends, their family, all that. So it's very exciting, guys. Figured it out and voted. Perfect. Good deal, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, UFO is most likely going to 2x PLSX tops, and pTGC will 2x everything Hex taps out at. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Let's get behind extra PulseX too, man. And we're gonna crush this cycle. But we're also gonna work this cycle. And you guys being here very much. You might be sitting on the couch. I worked this morning, went to church, came home, had lunch, did more work because I forgot to do it last week. Came straight here. I'm still working. It's all good. I ain't complaining. I will not complain. Like I tell my wife, I'm just explaining. I'm explaining. All right, let's look at the charts. Interesting that we started pumping yesterday. I find that very interesting. And I haven't gotten through all my messages, but I saw some word of 40,000 Bitcoin being sold for Ethereum. I don't know. I don't know wallets and all that stuff. It's exciting. It's bullish. And so, yeah, there you have it. All right. Let's look at these charts together, shall we? Even Bitcoin's in the green just a little bit today. Just a little bit. 0.4%. I'll take it. It's 10. I do not like that porcupine chart. It's 10,000 below. I need to get the Bitcoin ETH chart. 10,000 below it where its all-time high was just a couple weeks ago. I want to say, I mean, if Bitcoin goes to $200,000, it has a lot of room to grow, like 100%. Ethereum is at 44.55. It was at, I mean, just 7-8 days ago, it was at 49. It almost hit 5. Almost. Now it's at 44.55. PLS, it's moving. It's up 4% for the day. I like it. Let's put it on the daily. Yeah, man. pTGC, how are we doing on ratio? I haven't looked. Ooh, we dipped under 10. Nuts. We'll get back up there, guys. pTGC is just going to be more volatile than PLS, in my estimation. UFO. Extra PulseX. Here's your UFO exposure on the daily. How's it doing? 0.6. Ooh, 2 green candle days. And we'll roll over to the new day here in about 4 hours. So that's good, man. That's super good. I love it. Everything's positive. Everything's positive. I was seeing people, let me get my stuff set up. I was seeing people complain. Did I close that? Bad boy. No, I just didn't move it over yet. I was seeing people complain yesterday about the Richard Hart devices. And I'm like, you dummies. How in the world you just go and be so unthankful? This guy, Richard Hart, is pumping your bags by spending his own money on marketing material. And you're going to go and be like, well, he should have, and I wish it would have, and they're cheap. And really? Come on, guys. You got to have more character than that. It's unbelievable. Some people. Wicked just showed my UFO. Wicked just passed my trend lines drawn. pTGC went lower, but I was buying more pTGC than UFO on this dip, to be honest. Cool. I know one of my other buddies is buying. He got himself a bag of pTGC. Let's get back to pTGC. I think yesterday morning, and he's a happy camper right now. He's happy. People reach out to me and they're like, hey, do you think we're going to go a little lower? I have no idea, man. This is crypto, and I'm not a TA guy. Been a long bear market, man. And J-Dub, you are not even kidding. Can't really blame anyone for wild emotions. That's true. You know, we're all just a little worn out. But I'm getting to the point like where I'm a happy worn out. You know what I mean? It's just that excitement that keeps me going. So yeah. All right. Do we get into this presentation today? Is there anybody new? Just put a 1 in the chat if you're new to the Grays currencies. Maybe we can just, I don't know, do something else. I don't know. Put a 2 in the chat. If you're put a 2 in the chat. If you need me to walk through the Grays currencies, we're probably going to do it anyhow. Put a 2 in the chat in there if you need me to walk through. All right, watch this. You want to know how excited and how positive, how do I put it? Optimistic I am that these postcards are going to draw people into PulseChain. Fast Abdul. Crack me up, man. Every time you say that. Fast Abdul is here for the tech. Yeah. So you want to know how optimistic I am that these postcards are going to work and draw people in to PulseChain? This is how optimistic I am. If you're brand new to PulseChain and you somehow landed in this presentation about pTGC and UFO on PulseChain, put a 3 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat. And I'm going to be doing that regularly no bluffing. You have to be serious. No fibbers. If fibbers will be, I don't know, think of something, flogged. Put a 3 in the chat if you're brand new to PulseChain. Okay, because we're getting ready for him to come. So What show me do, man? And guess what? I did not update my slides like I told you I was going to. Like I did the previous time that I told you guys I was going to update my slides. So let's just do it, guys. Let's do it by faith that somebody needs this information. So what's pTGC and UFO? What are they? They are the index tokens of PulseChain. They weren't designated by the founder of PulseChain to be the index tokens. But they were built by a fan, an enormous fan, even though he's probably only 6 foot. He's that enormous. Of Richard Hart, the founder of PulseChain. And they are bonded with the best assets on the chain. This literally could not have been done on any other chain. I'll say that with a little bit of a slight hesitation, because I don't factually know. I have heard that, and I can sort of see how this was a once in a lifetime, once in a crypto cycle, whatever opportunity for a token to be built on at the bottom of a layer 1 that's going into its first cycle. This layer 1 is a copy of Ethereum, and the DAO, because it has a DAO, is able to buy up cheap tokens, all the best assets on the chain for cheap, like cheaply. So we're going to have thick, massively thick, expensive LPs going up into the cycle. Like when Pulse does a 10x, Hex does a 10x, all these assets do a 10x, our liquidity is going to be like a 10x. And we already got pTGC has like $9 million in LP. That it's going to be like $90 million in LP. It's going to be big. We're going big, guys. And it's an index. pTGC and UFO are an index. What does that mean? It means like, it's like instead of buying one rental unit, one house, you buy the apartment building and you cash flow on all of them. You buy the 10 unit, that pTGC and UFO are the apartment building. You buy one building and you get to cash flow off of all the units. And the units in this instance are Pulse, PulseX, Hex, Inc., PDI, Teddy Bear, Atropa, all those tokens. pTGC and UFO are bonded with. So by owning one, you get income from all of them. That's how it works. They're an index token. So when you're new to PulseChain, when you come over and you don't know where to start, well, you come into this presentation and you can learn a little bit about PulseChain, but mostly you're going to learn about the Grace currencies. What I need to do, and what I will do by Thursday, is I will have a list for everybody that's coming in of people they can follow on YouTube, so they don't have to just watch the Prairie Banana, and they can go learn from Call It On Crypto. They can learn from, I don't know, Crispy Man. There's a bunch of people that the new people can follow, and X accounts they can follow. Number one being Richard Hart, right? So index, you come over to PulseChain and you can buy one asset. If you only buy one, you get pTGC, which gives you exposure to all the best assets on the chain. Yeah, literally the best. The curated by the DAO assets, and the created by the founder assets, the Hex, the Pulse, the PulseX, the Inc. Okay. So you hold one and you have exposure to all of those. It's genius. I am a very comfortable holder of pTGC and UFO. When those, and through bonded liquidity, reflexivity, however you want to call it, when Hex runs, the Grace currencies run. When Pulse, PulseX, Inc., any of those run or dump, it goes both ways. We are going to run with those tokens. So, and pTGC and UFO, their thickest liquidity pair is with each other. And actually, I should show you guys a picture. Let me get my pictures pulled up. Not that one. Here is the liquidity web. Pulse Party 369. You reposted the stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in. Here is a picture of our liquidity web. pTGC and UFO being at the middle, the most thickly bonded together. Okay. And you see the other assets on the outside. Those are the ones they're bonded with. So pTGC and UFO, their thickest bond is with each other. And then the next bond is with Pulse. Okay. And then the other assets. That's how it works, guys. All right. I want to show you guys one thing. This is always kind of a weird. I always like zig over and show you guys this, because I don't know exactly where to plug it into the presentation, but let's zig over to Dex Screener. And by the way, this is another thing we need to do. Matter of fact, I'm taking notes. You guys are just going to have to wait. Put a 1 if new. This is, and then vote. Everybody go vote at plsfolio.com. And then also you're going to watch this. Vote on Dex Screener. You can only vote once per IP, but go give the Grace Currencies the rocket ship and Dex Screener. This is stuff I want to say every time we stream. Okay, go vote on Dex Screener. Oh, and how are we doing on PLS Folio? Let's have a look, guys. I just can't. I can hardly resist. How are we doing? We have 14. Looks like we need 14. Then it was 8. That's right. Yeah, it might just be that it's going to take a minute. Okay, so here's the thing that I wanted to show you guys. If you're thinking about how do you put it? Like, I was holding some assets that pTGC was bonded with, and I was like, okay, do I need to continue holding these assets, or should I, because I have a strong conviction for pTGC and UFO, but I don't like to rotate around. So what I did is I went to Dex Screener. I left Moonbags, but I went to Dex Screener, and then I went and I did this, because when you pull up Dex Screener, it's gonna show you the tokens in USD. By the way, let's do this. Reset the chart, and then look at this, guys. Look at this chart. Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, zoom out. Sometimes you want to zoom in too, but when in doubt, zoom out. And then watch this. We're going to look at this chart, not in USD. USD is kind of basic. It's dollars. How many dollars does pTGC cost? But how many PLS does pTGC cost? Well, it costs 9.88 PLS per pTGC right now. And this is one of the only tokens. It's more attractive on the weekly. I'll be really honest. Look at that. We've been down against Pulse. Okay, I'm saying it out loud, for 5 weeks. You're not going to sense a bearish tone in me, but we have been down against Pulse for 5 weeks. We have had, let's see, we have had one period where we were down 7 weeks in a row. So that was the worst, 7 weeks in a row right here in February 2025. And now it's 5 weeks in a row in August 2025. I'm not dismayed. Listen, guys, this is pTGC is one of the only tokens. Find me another one. Put it in the chat. I want to see it. Another token that has been moving up against the chain like pTGC has. Show me one. Show me. And if you want to go a step further, watch this. Go to my, I'd appreciate it if you would follow me on X. Right there. Follow me on X. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber, but I want to be here for everybody that's coming. I want to be here for that guy that is going to start a YouTube channel and blow it out of the water. Well, I want to be here for the guy that already has his Labor Day weekend in my town. I want to be here for the guy that already has a channel, that already has a massive Twitter following. So follow my, subscribe to my channel, and then maybe that guy will get the notification and show up. I ain't kidding, guys. I'm not kidding. Here it is, guys. Wanted dead or alive. One token on PulseChain that has outperformed pTGC in excess, pays APY, no admin keys, 1 year or older, $10 million of LP with 5 million, at least 5 million burn. And the X's need to be in Pulse. See the little, you got to read the fine print. The X's need to be in USD and in Pulse terms, measured from the second week. You got to measure it from the second week. This is fair and square. 10 million Pulse for anybody that can bring me one. Bring me one. And if you, until you can bring me one, you got to ask yourself, do I need to be, I should probably allocate some capital. I'll leave it at that. I should probably allocate some capital to the Grace currencies and get myself at, we have been promoting Jick Bag just in case, for anybody that's on the fence, just in case. I know you're everybody's tapped out and tired. I know you're pessimistic and you've heard all the FUD about the Grays. Not really, ain't much, but there are some FUDders. But in case you encountered all that, get a Jick Bag just in case, because we've had the conversations, and pTGC absolutely has the ability to impress. Like a million tokens right now is what, for maybe $500. It could change your life. Could change your life. Just a million tokens. Yeah. $400. I'm throwing. I will sell the cat. Absolutely. I'm going to sell the dog too. For whatever I can get. I'm lifting up couch cushions. I'm going to go clean windows. I'm going to clean windshields at intersections to make $400 so I can get a million pTGC because of where it could go. All right, we're going to have to get a move on here. There is a cool site, secretobank.com. Shaka, it's good to have you in the chat today. There isn't one, and the machine isn't even on yet. People just don't get what's coming. pTGC and UFO. What do you mean there isn't one? There isn't one what? Let me know, man. I want to know. Shaka, just so you guys know, he's one of the originals. If you think I'm an OG, Shaka the OG. He the OG. Maybe I'm getting there though. Secretobank.com. Let's have a look at the volume. So you've got all these liquidity pairs, which we're going to see on secretobank.com. Not just the core ones with Richard Hart, but other ones with pTGC and UFO. And then what you can see is their liquidity that there is with each of the pairs. And what's cool about this site is you can see the transaction volume for each pair. Like, this site is indispensable. Thank you very much, Snowflake Society, for building it. It's absolutely, hands down, indispensable. Well, it was $112,000 in volume yesterday. Somehow I think that was, let's see what it is today. Higher or lower? Lower. $80,000 in volume today. But here's the liquidity. Look at this, guys. $2.7 million in liquidity with between UFO and pTGC. Then $2 billion, soon to be $2 million in LP between pTGC and WPLS. 1.1 million in burn. PulseX is 934,000. So when PulseX does a 10x, that LP will be $9 million. Let's have a look at UFO. 25. This is what it was yesterday. $25,000 in volume. 27 now. It's increased. There you go. Extra PulseX, and then your total liquidity right here. So that's all these pairs right here added up right here. Okay. So that's your liquidity. And then what happens, guys, is whenever there's a misalignment, that's not a good term. Whenever they go out of alignment, like somebody makes a buy on one of those pairs, like the UFO teddy pair, and that the prices become different from one to the other, the AMM bots have to go in and equalize all the prices. So they got to buy out of one pool, sell into another pool. And when they do that, they're paying a fee. We're 40 minutes into this thing, and I have barely begun. Okay. Let me get my eyes on where we need to be here. So we talked about index tokens, Secreto Bank. All right. So we're going to get, if you've lasted this long, man, I almost think like maybe we need to stream once a week and then do just a full on presentation, because people are waiting 40 minutes for Jabberjaws here to get to the guts of stuff. I think we're going to do Jabberjaw. Maybe we'll do Jabberjaw on Wednesday and do the presentation on Sunday when people have the weekends off. I think that's what we're going to do. And we might do the presentation for onboarding people on Saturday after Spaces. This is going to be a limited time, guys. This is like sprint to the finish line. So don't worry about me, man. I'm good. Difference between pTGC and UFO. Yeah, I need to line that out, pencil that out, and kind of focus, because I don't want people waiting 40 minutes before we get into this stuff. Difference between pTGC and UFO. I just kind of know that everybody in here has been around a while. Okay, let me get my slide. They're both fee-based tokens. So when you buy, sell, or transfer from wallet to wallet, these tokens, you're going to pay a fee. 5% pTGC, 6% UFO. Like 90+% of pTGC's LP is burned. It's been around, and here we go again. I have not updated these slides. I'm so now I'm like triple embarrassed. It has been around for like 23 months. 12.6% is burned, has 16,000 wallets. Now don't look at UFO except for the 6% and the LP is user provided. The rest is false. I'm just being blunt. The rest is just this copy of what it says on pTGC. I must have been sleeping when I made that slide. And we got let's get the liquidity totals. Watch this, guys. This is the liquidity between the two assets. In RH cores, look, the gold is RH cores, which is PulseX Hex, and Ink. And then you can see that UFO has more liquidity with RH cores. And then the total liquidity, and this is a few weeks ago, 9.8 million. pTGC has 9.8 million total, and UFO has 15 million total. Not quite double, but I would argue that it's sort of close. Okay, sort of close, and it might be meaningful. Now, where do those fees go? So remember I said when you buy, sell, or transfer these tokens, you are going to pay a fee. 5%. Comforting statement. We're here for X's, not percents. Okay? So, yes, you got to pay 5%. But yes, what if you get a 5X? It'll make that 5% like, okay? Nothing. Yeah, I don't like paying the tax either. I have been gifted these tokens and moved it to a different wallet. I'm like, I just got to have it on a separate wallet. And I just gifted it to the community. On occasion, I have done that and just turned right around and bought what I spent on taxes, bought it right back because I want that quantity, and I do not like giving up 5%, but I got to remind myself we're here for the X's. We are here for the X's. So 2% goes to the DAO for pTGC. UFO does not have a DAO. 1% goes to holders, 1% to stakers. 0.5% burns pTGC. 0.5% is added to the pTGC PLS LP, and those PLP tokens are burnt out of existence. UFO, 3% goes to LP providers, 1% to holders, 1% burns UFO, 1% burns pTGC. Okay, you guys got that? Okay, none of the fees goes to developer or founder wallets. None of it goes to Prairie Banana. It doesn't go to anybody. It does. There's one instance where people can interact with money that's created from the system, and that's the DAO. If you're a staker of pTGC, in my estimation, you're part of the DAO because you can vote on DAO proposals. If you are a top 100 staker, you can make proposals for the DAO. And when proposals pass with 65% yes vote, they have to pass with 65%, then the proposer receives the treasury money. It's always limited. The limit is 100 million PLS. Okay, they will receive the treasury money to then execute the proposal. If they were to misbehave, they would be blacklisted. Not blacklisted in the sense that they would never get a proposal approved again, because we'd be watching them for proposals from such and such wallet, right? And they would, and so far as I know, it has never happened anyhow. But just so you know, like, everything is handled properly within this DAO, and none of it goes to the founders. So it's truly a truly decentralized DAO. Okay. What else we got? What else do we got? Okay, one of the things, and I told you about the AMM bots. So we're done there. We're done there. Okay, now pTGC and UFO have what are called alien tech and superpowers. Each of them has one or two of each. And it's really kind of a cool balancing thing, the way it's set up. But one of pTGC's alien techs, it's also UFO's alien tech, is the alien AMM bots. Okay, one of the superpowers is for pTGC. One of the superpowers is that it has more coming into the system than can be extracted. More coming in that can be extracted. I think that's an alien tech. Either way, it's cool. Okay, that's cool. So of the 5%, you've got 2% that goes to the DAO, 0.5% that is burning pTGC, 0.5% that is, added to the pTGC PLS liquidity pair, and those tokens are burned. So that's 3%. That's 3% that's effectively building and staying in the system. Then you have the 2% that's going to holders and stakers. The 2% can be extracted by the holders and stakers, you see, but the 3% stays in. So if the 2% gets extracted, you have a net 1% that will stay in the system. Okay, so it's alien tech, guys. It's a superpower. PulseX won't let me swap for pTGC. Keep saying the slippage is too low. Set it to 6%. Gandalf, set your slippage to 6% and use the auto router. I think that's going to be your best bet. Let me know if it works, dude. Let me know if you have any other troubles, and we can send you into the Telegram. But that should work. You do want to use 6% for pTGC, 7% for UFO slippage. Cool. You're welcome. Let me know if it works. So one of the things you want to understand that took me a long time to figure out is these are volume and volatility based protocols, these two. And the funny thing is, as price goes up, you earn, okay, I'm going to say this. I don't want to say this wrong. Okay, at a given volume, let's say like we saw $100,000 of volume in pTGC. At a certain price, at a low price where we are right now, you're going to earn, let's say you earn 10 tokens in yield for a given transaction. When price goes up, price does a 10x, you're not going to earn 10 tokens, you're going to earn 1 token. So let me summarize that. As price goes up for any given volume level, you're going to earn fewer tokens. Price come down, you're going to earn more tokens. You're going to earn the same value each time for any given volume level, depending on your cut of the pool, like your position. So price go up, less tokens, same value. Okay, we talked about that. This is fundamental. This is cool. We talked about the DAO. What separates the DAO what separates the pTGC DAO from other tokens? This is really cool, guys. I'm going to tell you, even when it comes to UFO, the DAO, it gives gives pTGC such a super advantage, especially over time, guys. Especially over time. I mean, we're not going to use the Dow. The Dow isn't going to take advantage of every single opportunity, every single time. It's never going to always hit it out of the park, but sometimes it's going to. And it's those sometimes that's going to separate pTGC from everything else on the chain, because everybody's going to need exposure to pTGC. And the top 100 stakers are incentivized to see this thing grow. And so I'm sure they're keeping their ear to the ground for new projects, for anything that's going to benefit the grays, right? And there's different things that we can do with the DAO. At times we can burn pTGC. At other times we can just buy cheap assets and build our LP. At other times we can start leaning into stable coins instead to soften the downtrend going into the upcoming soon bear market. But it's this DAO that allows pTGC to be like a ship on the sea, not like a train on the track. A train on the track can go forward and back. If it encounters an obstacle, it has to crash through it and maybe get derailed, or it has to just go in reverse. A ship can circumnavigate. It can move around obstacles. That is the pTGC DAO. It can move. It can pivot with market changes. You know what I'm saying? It's good stuff, guys. And there ain't a whole lot of DAOs on PulseChain. Gandalf, how's it going, man? Give us an update. And there are DAOs. pTGC's DAO is completely decentralized. I think I said that. Like if the top 100 stakers left all their wallets to their wives, how would that work? How would that work? Huh. I don't know. Let's say the founder died. That would be most unfortunate. But there are another 100 stakers that can step in and fill in and do what needs to be done to make the DAO, to make pTGC successful. All right. Oh, it's time to go to the DApp finally. How far are we in? We're at 50 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad, guys. We're going to the DApp. Okay, finally, we're going to the DApp. This is where we're going to show you what you can do with your pTGC and UFO. You can do 3 things with pTGC, 2 with UFO. You can hold, stake, and lock pTGC, and you can hold and LP UFO. So you don't have to do anything with either of these tokens. Like holding is just keeping them in your wallet. You don't have to do anything. Just keep them in your wallet. And guess what? You're going to earn. But there are other things. If you're like me and you like to work, then I like to stake my tokens. I like to claim the yield and put it back in and make more and check my LPs and claim that yield and do something with it. Maybe buy more pTGC or UFO and then just make more, But you can do 3 with pTGC, 2 with UFO. Let's have a look at it, guys. I need a drink of water. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I gotta do 2 things. I gotta connect my wallet. Oh, perfect, Gandalf. Excellent. Congratulations. Is that your first time? Is that your first bag? I want to know, man. Give us the skinny, man. Give us the good news. Don't give me numbers. But is that your first bag? All right, so I got my water poured. Now I got to connect my wallet. Just bear with me, guys. In the meantime, we'll wait for Gandalf to get back to us on his success. All right, cool. I got my wallet connected. And let me just get it pulled up. What am I doing? Wallet, silly. Wallet. Yeah, okay. Now, the The pTGC section is a little bit longer than UFO, but they both go rather quickly. And honestly, it's at 55 minutes, but all right, man. This is my first swap for pTGC. I won a lot of coins on PulseChain, but I keep hearing good things about pTGC. So I figured I need to own some. Yeah, man. Dude, I'm so happy for you. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I am so excited. You got your JIC bag. You got your just in case bag. Yeah. So I'm little background. Like, I was involved in a lot of stuff in the last year. Like, and I have completely, like, it's taken me some time to see the light about the Grace currencies. And I spent a lot of time and just messing around ignorantly. And I circled right back to the Grace currencies. And I see a lot of stuff, a lot of shenanigans I got involved in, man. I messed up. But hey, I've got my bag. Gandalf, you got your bag, and it's going to be good. I am anticipating goodness for both of us and all of us. So this is what you can do. Hey, this is perfect timing, man. You literally hit it just right. That's amazing. So this is what you can do, Gandalf, and everybody. You can hold it, you can stake it, and you lock it. And Gandalf, since you just got your bag, let me just tell you, watch this presentation. It's only going to take 5 more minutes. Watch this before you do anything. Please don't do anything, especially a locking before you sleep on it. I know you're all excited and all that, but some of us have made mistakes, especially when it comes to the locking. The staking, in my estimation, is no brainer. I stake all mine, but the locking is like, you better think about it, big boy. You don't want to commit to that 10-year lock and then be like, whoops, maybe I should have done it the way I'm going to describe to you. So listen, I'll show you some stuff. So what you can do, this is an experimental wallet, by the way. I reset all the claims and stuff back in February. So it's earned 8,000 pTGC for staking, 5,000 for locking. And let's see, it has earned one. No. Hold up. Total earned from, I hope I recorded this. Total earned from holding was 20,860,000. 20,860. Sorry. I think that's the total. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is the total. Okay. I didn't mess up. This is the total for holding, staking, and locking from the time that I started this wallet. And guys, I started this wallet in February 2024. I'd been in Grace currencies about 2 weeks. When did I start this? I started this on February 10th. Yeah, I'd been in here 2 weeks. And this is so you can see what you can kind of sort of expect to earn from holding, staking, and locking. 21,000 tokens for holding, 27,000 for staking. Why? Because there's a lot of tokens that are sitting in people's wallets, like Gandalf's right now. He's not earning anything from staking. He's only earning from holding. They're called reflections. Then if you're locked, if you'd been locked, the locking earns like 10,000 additional versus holding. So in total, the wallet has earned 21,000 plus 27,000 is 47,000, 57,000 tokens. 57,000 tokens because I did the holding, staking, and locking on the same day. Okay, you guys follow that? All right, let's get into it. This is where you can stake your pTGC. I mean, holding is simple. You just keep it in your wallet. Just keep it there. For me, it's a safeguard against me, like staking is. And locking is a further safeguard to protect myself from myself, because I know myself and I can get a little excited and mess up. And I've done that. So the locking to me is like, I ain't touching those tokens unless they're like super valuable. And then I might nuke some of the bags or one of the bag or whatever, the option is there. And I'll show you how you can kind of break it up a little bit. So you can stake your tokens. The way you do that is A, you got to have them in your wallet. B, you select the stake button. Stake, you can select however many you want. And you can only have one stake per wallet. You can have multiple locks, one stake. So you just select how much you want to stake, and then you stake it. There's no time commitment. There's no end date that you have to be worried about. You can just end your stake at any time, and you can do that with this button right here, the withdraw button. And this is great. Your yield from staking is available at any time. I can claim it. Boom, hit the claim button, goes straight to my wallet, starts earning reflections. And let's see, like the reflections from just holding, the reflections go straight to your wallet and they start earning reflections. The staking rewards, like I just said, they sit in the contract. They sit in the contract and until you claim them, then they go to your wallet and they start earning reflections. And there's no penalty, dude. There's no penalty for ending a stake early because you can't end it early. You can't end it late. I mean, you could end it right now, but don't do it. I mean, well, you haven't even maybe made a stake yet, but if you do start a stake and you want to end it, meaning you probably want access to that capital for some reason or another, you select the withdraw button. But just so you know, when you do that, you're gonna pay 1% that goes to all the other stakers. So you hit the withdraw button. You can select however much of that stake that you want to withdraw. That's another thing I really love about this system is you can unstake one token if you want to. It's just going to pay gas. But if you do, you're going to pay 1% on your principal and it goes to all the other stakers. So that, yeah, there's no end stake, no early end, no time commitment, but just 1% that goes to all the other stakers. Okay, is there anything else I need to say on staking? I don't think so. As I go through this, I'll think of stuff and I'll just mention it. Locking is the next step. I'm not saying you got to go through the steps. This is not financial advice. I'm big on locking. Pretty much all my stuff is locked. But this is the biggest commitment, the locking. You got to be staked in order to be locked. So like all my lock tokens, obviously any lock token has already been staked. Okay. You can have multiple locks per wallet, one stake per wallet, and you can add to it. You can add to your stake. That's another thing, Gandalf. You can claim your rewards and they go straight to your wallet. And then anything you've earned from those staking rewards and in addition to your reflections, once a week or so, you can go and add that to your stake. You just pile it on top and start earning more staking rewards. And then maybe once a month, that's actually a really good idea. I had not thought of that before. Like if you're compounding your stakes, taking your reflections and your staking rewards and adding them to a stake, and then once a month, you can lock all that because it's staked, not locked, but then you could lock it and it'd just be a small lock. Maybe you could do it every 2 or 6 months, something like that. But I'm big on locking and I'm going to show you guys why. So if you're going to make a lock, they got to be staked first. Let me just show you the section down here. So if you wanted to lock, you select this button right here and you select however many. I don't have any staked tokens right now. I could stake, like watch this. Didn't I? I thought balance is 5,000. Yeah. And I earned that from, that's my holding rewards. How does that work? It's confusing, guys. Maybe the new website will be less confusing, but it's confusing to a prairie banana. So let's just go straight to locking. You got to be staked, and then you hit the lock button, and then you can select however. Let's say you want to put 1,000. I can't because I don't have any staked. That's not already locked. So you put 1,000 or whatever you want to lock, or 1,000,000 or 10 million, and then you put your duration. And let me pop this up on the screen here. Your duration is anywhere from 90 days out to 10 years. Okay. 90-day lock, you're going to keep 55%. 10-year lock, and you're going to keep 100%. Now, I'm going to explain this. So 90-day lock, anywhere from 90 days to 1 year, when you see that, let's do this. When you see the yield stacking up in your wallet, like here's the rewards, 5,134. That's the rewards. If this were a 90-day lock, and this is 100, this is a 10-year, so I will keep all of that. But if this were a 90-day, I would keep 55% of that. 45% goes to the dead address, reducing the supply, increasing everybody's position. Okay. Now there's more to this locking. There's more. Okay. So just like the staking rewards are sitting in the wallet, your locking rewards are sitting in the wallet. I mean, in the contract also. When you claim them, they'll go straight to your wallet and start earning reflections. And that's when you can create another lock, right? Which is a beautiful thing about the system. You can create another lock. Okay, there's some things that you should know about. Oh, there's quite a few things. When you lock, this is a cool hack. I wish I'd learned along, when I first came in. Instead of locking up my stuff for 10 years, I would have done it 9 years in 1 day. Because if you locked 1 day into the next tier, why not make it 7 to be safe? Okay, lock 7 days into the next tier, and you will earn from that tier. Do you guys follow me? That's cool. Here's another thing. If you're going to lock, my recommendation, unless you really want to get serious about delayed gratification, go ahead and lock a big old bag. If that's what you need, lock a big old bag. But if you want to break it up into 2 bags or 10 bags, especially if it's a 10-year lock, like break it up into multiple bags. That way, if this stinking thing goes ballistic, like it could, and you're like, man, this would set me up for the rest of my life, then you nuke 1 bag and not, 1 out of 10 versus just 1. Because the penalty for early end locking, you can end your locks early, but you're going to pay 30% on your principal, 30%, which goes to all the other lockers. You notice how none of this goes to developer wallets? None of it goes to Prairie Banana. I sure wish it. Actually, it does, because I'm a locker. Yeah, man, I'm locking. So, and I've been making some locking rewards. You saw them right there. What's the other thing? There's a couple other things you need to be aware of. Oh, let's see. You can make a ladder. Okay. I look at locking as like you can do 3 things. Okay. You can go big and long, like 10 years. And I'll tell you exactly how I did it. 88% of my stuff is locked for 10 years. Multiple locks on multiple wallets. 8% of my stuff is locked in a ladder, in a locking ladder, annual locking ladder. Just 8%. I got some bags maturing at the end of this year. I'm a little excited about it, especially considering where we could be at the end of this year. And it's just, it's just small bags, but who knows? We'll see. Then 4% is in 90-day locks, which have matured several months ago. So that's how I did it. And the numbers are no coincidence. It just happened to be a coincidence. Does that make sense? That makes sense. The percentages just happen to work out that way. Now, there are some differences between holding and staking. Remember, I told you there's 3 things you can do. We're getting to UFO after this explanation. 3 things you can do. You can hold it, pTGC, you can stake it, and you can lock it. Now, the staking, on the staking, you can leave your stakes, your locks, I'm sorry. You can leave your locks and your stakes in place forever, indefinitely. Your locks can stay in place. Like those 90-day locks are beautiful because you can, if you don't know what to do, you put your pTGC in a 90-day lock. You're going to keep 55%, help reduce the supply when you claim your rewards. And then And then at the end of 90 days, you can be like, okay, now I have a better understanding of the system and I'm going to decide to do this, whatever you're going to do with it. Maybe you're not going to do nothing with it. But, oh man, I lost my train of thought. But the 90-day locks are pretty sweet for that. Just a place that you can still earn locking rewards, but not be super committed. And that's what I did that for 6 to 9 months. I put all my stuff in 90-day locks, and after 9 months, I finally had time and knowledge enough to figure out what to do. And I'm very content with my locking ladder. And it's been 9 months now since I built it. So that's pretty good longevity in crypto to be satisfied after 9 months. So take your time, sleep on it at least one night. Talk to your spouse, talk to the guys in the chat, Telegram chat. The big differences between holding and staking and locking rewards. One is that the holding and staking rewards are going to come in every single day because every time that contract executes, we are all going to earn tokens. And the reflections, by the way, for both pTGC and UFO just kind of show up in your wallet in a super spooky alien tech sort of way. Yeah. It's cool. You don't got to trigger anything. They just show up. And you don't got to pay any gas for them to show up. It's cool. But that's for holding and staking rewards. They just, the staking rewards stay in the contract until you trigger. You got to trigger those. But the holding rewards, staking rewards, every single day, drip, drip, drip into your wallets all day long. We are stacking up tokens that we think could go to very impressive numbers, and we hope they do. But the locking rewards are very different. Those are dependent on humans to trigger stuff. They have to nuke their locks. They have to nuke their locks. They have to end their locks early. And guys, be careful when you're doing it. One of my buddies reached out and he's like, "Hey man, where'd my 30% go? I mean, I lost 30%. Well, I think he was doing crypto on his phone, and it worked out to where there wasn't a notification, or he didn't see the notification, or something to where the date was not lining up with what he thought the time. And he ended his lock like literally minutes or hours early. And he sent a gift to the whole community, 30% of his bag. And he apparently had pretty big bags. And so he nuked, a lot of tokens. So please be careful. Best thing is like what we talked about yesterday is wait a couple days. Once your thing is mature, just wait a couple days if you can wait, and then then unlock. Okay, so that's it for the locking rewards are dependent on humans to end their locks early. And then the other thing is, this is the big one, and why I'm big on locking. Locking is the superpower of pTGC, and here's why. The holding and staking rewards on $1 million in volume in a day are going to, I mean, if you had the same position in the locking in the reflections and staking pool, at the same position day after day and had the same volume day after day, you would earn the same yield day after day. But because the contract can only buy so many tokens, like it's going to say, Prairie Banana, you've got 1%. I don't got 1%. Okay, just so you know, you get 1% of this transaction, and it's going to send me 1% of whatever it was able to buy for $1,000. But when price 10x it's still going to send me 1% of whatever it can buy for $1,000 or whatever I said a second ago. But because the price is 10x, it's buying fewer tokens. So it's going to send me 10x fewer tokens, as we talked about earlier. So that is it's not a drawback. It's just a thing for reflections and staking. But the locking is different. It's big different. So let's say somebody, and I need to think of a good illustration for this, But somebody locks up 1 billion tokens, and there are billion token locks. I'm certain of it. And they decide, I want access to that capital. And they're going to, how much are they going to forfeit? Who can tell me in the chat? This is Q&A. Somebody has 1 billion tokens locked, and they're going to forfeit 30%. What is it? We're all crypto people. That's a silly question. You guys know the answer. I'm just trying to get a response to see if you guys are paying attention. Well, we know what that is. And that's going to be that 300 million, okay? That 300 million is going to all the other lockers. Thank you, Shaka. Going to all the other lockers. Well, 300 million of today's 300 million times, I think it's $400 times 400. That's, 300 million times 400. No, oh yeah, 300 times 400. That's $120,000. Yeah, split between all the lockers. That's not much for the prairie banana. that's $120,000. There's some big players in this space. But what if that 300 million was worth 300 million? 300 million. I'd have to divide it by that number I just had, and I don't remember that number. So, but you guys get the point that, and we're going to see it in the locking calculator, that the locking revenue could be significant. It really could be, but we haven't seen it yet. But we have seen a number of X's, so we have seen some significant increase in the locking. You're welcome. Thanks for showing up, Shaka. Hey, make sure you listen to the message that I sent you earlier in Telegram, and let me know what you think of that, man. So, yeah, locking is different. Locking is different, but it's a high risk because you're locking up those tokens. But literally, thank you. But literally, I mean, if you let's say you put $1,000 into pTGC and it goes up 10x, and then you're like, I put it in a 10-year lock, and I just want the capital. Well, it's now worth $10,000. You're like, okay, I'm going to throw away I'm going to donate $3,000 to the community, and to which we thank you for. And then you're $6,000 in the black. Is that how you put it? $6,000 in profit above your initials. So I think there are going to be a lot of people unlocking going into this upcycle. I really do. I did not used to think that, but I'm starting to reevaluate. I think that because I'm looking at my own situation, right? And I'm like, yo, could be good. Could be good. I think that's it for pTGC. If you got any questions, guys, drop them in the chat. I forgot to say that. Go to PulseFolio. PulseFolio. Folio.com. Let's have a look over there real quick, guys. We're going to take a quick field trip, see how we're doing. It was 8 to rank up, and I think it was 3 to rank up. Of course, the Sparta guys are they're voting too. They're seeing us catch up. This is kind of a fun thing. Honestly, it's cool. I have friends over there. At least 1, 2, probably more over there, and we can have a good time, right? We're competitors, but we don't need to be unkind. We can have a good time. We're all on the same chain. We're all for the same chain, same founder. Yo, let's go. All right, let's go over to UFO. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's flip this up onto the platform here. So here's the alien tech and the superpowers. pTGC's alien tech is those AMM bots. UFO's alien tech is the AMM bots, but pTGC has that net inflow being greater than the outflow, which we described earlier. And its superpower is the locking, okay? The locking, which we just described, and we're going to see in the calculator, which is user-centric. UFO's superpower, well, it's its thickest liquidity is with pTGC and the share rates, which are user-centric. And we're going to talk about the share rates. They're big. What do you think the upside is for pTGC? Brad Walters. I was thinking you're a Watkins. I know a Brad Watkins. I think the upside, okay, I think it's significant. Okay, but I'm biased. All right, I'm a huge fan. I'm in this thing day in and day out. But in order to prove it to you, let's get through UFO. As soon as we're done with the UFO, which is really quick, we'll get into the calculators and I'll show you. I want if you can hang around. Other than that, dude, like if you got to run, what's the upside for pTGC? What's the upside? Significant, significant. But I want to show you why. So if you can hang around, that'd be great. Because that's kind of a lousy answer, isn't it? Of course, everybody's going to say significant. That's funny. Stinking mic. All right. Let's get over to UFO. It's the same DApp, guys. PulseTGC.com. Click on UFO token right here. UFO token. Bam. Remember, there's two things you can do with UFO. You can hold it and you can LP it. This is going to go quick. So there are two buttons here, basically, that you're going to interact with. This is where you can make your liquidity. Hey, the gray gazoo. The gray gazoo. All right. I got to deal with this right now. Are you one of the, somehow I have this feeling you're one of the, you're connected to the founders. Am I right or am I wrong? I just had this, I saw it on Twitter today. I was like, what? Okay. Because yeah, I'll leave it at that. But if you want to answer me, if you can do it, if you want to do it privately too, you can do that. You hope so? Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how, Brad. Okay. So two things you can do. You can go into the UFO liquidity pools to add liquidity, and then you can see your rewards. Let's go to the liquidity pools. So let's say you want to LP. Okay. These are the 7 tokens you can LP. pTGC, Hex, eHex, Inc, PulseX, Pulse, and DAI. I do not recommend LPing UFO and pTGC because you're going to pay the fee going in and coming out. You can LP UFO and Pulse, but you will pay the UFO fee exiting that pool. You're not going to pay the fee entering or exiting any of the other pools. You must LP on this DApp if you want to participate in the UFO rewards. Okay. And the way you do that, the way you LP is you select manage pool, add liquidity. Then you add equal portions of each, equal values of each, add new liquidity, sign it in your wallet. And then once you've signed it, what you should do is come back here and go to UFO token and select UFO PLP rewards. Then you're going to scroll down and look at your LP. This is the UFO PLS LP that I made like in May of 2024. So no, I'm not gonna claim. All right. So in this section, this UFO PLP reward section, you can see how much you've earned in reflections, and your rewards for holding UFO are in UFO, and your rewards for LPing are in PLS. So I've earned 59,000 PLS for just holding 1 million UFO in this LP. Cool. All right. You guys notice anything like right along here? Total held, total stake, UFO shares. UFO shares. I hinted at this earlier. The UFO shares are the superpower of UFO. Maybe I'm going to prove it to you. I'm joking, but see that? Superpower, the shares, and these are user centric, and you can get these shares. All right, let's talk about the shares briefly. I gotta get another swig of water. You get shares by putting UFO into an LP. Literally, they're 1-to-1. You get 1 share per UFO. I put 1 million UFO into that LP, so I have 1 million UFO shares. The UFO shares are what determine your yield. The UFO shares will not change. Like your UFO shares, once you enter a pool, they're fixed. They will not change. If you exit the pool, and I'm going to show you guys an illustration. If I exited this pool, there's literally like 300,000 UFO in that pool right now. If I exited the pool, unless I replenished to get it back up to 1 million UFO, the most I could enter if I repaired would be 300,000 shares, which is less than 1 million shares, which means less yield. So the UFO shares are like a bookmarker. They're like a place marker. It's like your guarantee for the yield. They don't change. You will experience impermanent loss on your tokens, but your UFO shares remain fixed as long as you LP on the DApp. So I think that's about it for UFO shares. The main thing is, guys, is that they don't change. They stay fixed. I keep lifting my hat because my head is hot. They're not going to change. And as people exit their LP and sell down the price, and I don't quite have my head wrapped around all of it. I just know that from what I have seen, I'm one of those guys that sees stuff and I get it. Can I explain it? No. I can't even recall it, but I saw it, right? And from what I've seen, the UFO shares are going to become very valuable in due time. So like my early on shares, I'm not touching them, at least presently, because they are earning me PLS every single day. And they have been earning me more PLS because some people have left the system. They have exited their position in the pools, which increased my position. Yeah. So they're a good deal, but they're basically just based on how many UFO you put into the LP. Okay. So let me show you this slide that I built to illustrate this. So let's say you started with 1 billion shares. The current value as of the building of this slide was 216 million UFO because of impermanent loss. We lost a little bit of UFO, or a lot. Yeah, like 10,000. Well, the value of that LP was $10,000 for each side. So you unpair it. Like you have a bad day and you're like, I'm unpairing this thing. And then you realized, oh man, what a big mistake. Well, your cost to regain would be, you'd have to buy 739 million more UFO, costing $29,000. You'd also have to buy a bunch of PLS, $29,000. So it would cost basically, what was that, $58,000 to get your 1 billion shares back. Yo, that's a big expense. So basically each share is now worth 3 times the token price. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining stuff to where it makes sense. But what we're trying to convey is the value of the UFO shares. And with PulseChain being at the bottom, UFO being at the bottom, this is an opportune time to get both of these tokens. And you don't have to get Pulse. You could get Pulse. They're all on sale. PulseX, PDI, Inc., Hex, eHex, pTGC. I wouldn't do that one. Pair them up in an LP so you have exposure to the share rates and just chill and enjoy that steady drip of PLS coming into your wallet every single day, day after day. pTGC is the future for PulseChain, Mercus says. Yeah, it's not just the future, it's the present. It's presently the future of PulseChain. Good point, Mercus. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Drop them in the chat, man. Drop them in the chat. Okay, we're going to move on. I think we're, let's see. Hold on, guys. Checking my notes. We did that. Oh, as far as the UFO pools, Let me show this to you. All the pools share alike. Like you can join any of these pools. The only difference is going to be on the back end because this is built on PulseX V2. The rewards that you earn for LPing will be different from pair to pair. But as far as rewards from UFO, the 3% that goes to LP providers, it gets shared amongst all of these. Okay. And then if perhaps, we saw this impermanent loss scenario where you could where you lose UFO tokens. And then if you unpaired, and try to repair, it would cost you money. Well, what if it could go the other way, and it has happened at least once. Like I was able to do this. Check this out. Last year, Inc ran up, and I actually had more UFO in my wallet than when I started my LP. So guess what I did? I unpaired my LP and repaired it, and I ended up with more UFO shares. True story. Yeah, and that's possible. So if Pulse runs up, PLSX, Hex, PDI, Teddy Bear, Tropa, not a Tropa, but all those, if they run up against UFO and you have more, you go to PulseX and you have more, you go to PulseX V2 and you see that you have more UFO in your wallet than you have UFO shares, you can literally unpair, repair, and have more UFO shares. That's cool. All right. We did that. We're going to skip that. We're going to go into, let's just go straight into moon math. What do you guys think Pulse is going to do this cycle? What do you think Pulse is going to do this cycle? Do we need to pull up a certain Twitter post? All right, watch this. What do you guys think Pulse is going to do this cycle? Give me a number. How many X's do you think Pulse is going to do? It could be a price too. All right. We need to scroll down a little more. How do I guess I reposted that twice. Yeah, I sure did. All right. Let's have a look at this. Let's see if, if this happens, that would be a 5X on Pulse. Guys, this is so exciting. I mean, look at this. Mailers. Direct mail, direct to consumer marketing material. It's genius. So what's going to happen? What do you guys think? What can PulseChain do this cycle? Anything less than 100X, we'll I keep wanting to say we're going to flog you after stream, but it'd be a challenge to find you. I'm totally kidding, guys. I'm just having fun. Pulse to a penny baked in. Okay, how much is that? 100X or 10? I think that's 100X. Yeah, baked in. 0.01 divided by 0.4. 250X. That's a good number. I like that. All right, so we're going to look into ptgc.com, and you guys can go here. It's not free. I wish it were. ptgc.com. And you can see the dashboard though. It's not. It's some of it's free. Where is it? Oops, I gotta get it pulled up. Hold up. Okay, I gotta log in. Okay, there's some cool stuff that you guys can see on the dashboard. We're gonna do the math. Brad Walters, are you still here? Because we're going into the moon math for pTGC right now. Let's do this right here. Share my screen. All right, what we're going to do first thing, we got to explain X multiplier. Like I was saying a little bit ago, there's not too many assets on PulseChain that have moved up against the chain. pTGC and UFO are some assets that have. And when you have like extra PulseX says, 250X on PLS, pTGC will participate in all of that 250X. pTGC will go up 250X. If PTGC goes up 10x, then it ends up being, against the chain, while PulseChain does a 250x, that'd be 2500x for PTGC. And it's called the X multiplier, or the reflexivity effect. Like Hex famously did a 10,000x. Truthfully, it did 1,000x. But on Ethereum, Ethereum did a 10x, while PTGC did 1,000x. 1,000 times 10, 10,000. Okay, same thing is going to apply this cycle for other assets on the chain. PTGC in the last year has done a 30x against PulseChain, thereabouts. Maybe more, maybe less. So what we're going to do is we're going to put into this calculator, we're going to probably put in 10x just to keep it modest, because it could do a 30x, it could do 100x against PulseChain. Some people think it's going to do 250x against PulseChain, but let's be conservative and just do 10. So we're going to select PTGC PLS, 10x against PulseChain, and then 250x that PulseChain does. Calculate, that's going to be 250 times 10, which is 2,500. Hey, Spectre. You're here? Oh, you must be Brad Walters, same guy. Okay, cool. That'd be 250x times 10x if this scenario played out. If this scenario did play out, here is the numbers, here's what PTGC would be. It would be $1.07. Yeah, $1.07. 2,500x. $1 PTGC. 2,500x, guys. That means $1. I mean, $1. Let's see. $1 becomes $2,500. $1 becomes $2,500. I can hardly breathe that, but it's just math. That's how it goes. So I hope that adequately answers your question, Spectre. But if you want to, let's see. Watch this. If like in that tweet that I put out, let's look at this. Let's do another little rabbit trail. And I know some people can't handle the big numbers, but I'm just going to do them. It's my style. And yeah, it's my style and it's my show. I don't want to be a brat and just like I'm entitled to do everything my way, but really, I don't want to go low. I mean, I really want to just impress, because I think these tokens are impressive. Let's go. Okay, I'm tracking with you, Spectre. It almost looks, it's Spectre, not Scepter. 10x. Let's do the 10x. And then, over here it was, oh man, I'm gonna have to reset that. It's 1,042. Okay, 10x, 1,042. And this is gonna be a bigger number. If you guys can guess, that'd be $4.46 PTGC. 10,000x. There are some that think that PTGC could be the first 1 billion X in one cycle token. That would be cool. But it would have to get to $16.92 to be a billion X token. $16.92. That's a big number. But I will conject that there's going to be a project forecast. There's going to be a lot of not just millionaires, but billionaires, I think, coming out of the Grace currencies. That's my projection. Okay. Let's look at some reflections, like the reflections on volume. So these are volume-based tokens. We make our money when we have higher volume. So we have a calculator right here, and we can estimate, given a bag size, how much you can earn. Hey, Danny, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. Hot in California, huh? So you're keeping cool? Yeah, right on, man. Good deal. It's good to see you. Let's go to the reflections calculator. Reflections. And let's put in 100 million. I like to keep it simple. So I'm going to put in 100 million. And then you guys can just do the math. Like if you got a billion bag or a 10 million bag, you can just scale it up or down however you need. I'm going to hit the experimental mode. We're going to put the volume at 10 million. That's a little aggressive, but I told you guys I'm a moon boy. I am not going to hide it. So that'd be, $10 million in volume. We've had $2 million in volume on both pTGC and UFO in a single day so far this cycle, with PulseChain at the very bottom. So your yield would be 78,000 pTGC, $33.70 on that bag for that given volume. Okay. Makes sense? Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. If you had, if you had 1 billion tokens, that'd be $337 in yield on $10 million. Hopefully we get 100 million in volume. That'd be pretty sweet. Then every 100 million would be $337. Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to my favorite calculator, which is, I mean, those yields were, that's cool. That's cool. But thinking about what to do with my own bags, and I shouldn't be doing that while I'm streaming. Yeah. Focus, Prairie. Focus. Remember, the locking is a superpower for pTGC. The share rate is the superpower for UFO. Locking is the superpower for pTGC. I hope that they'll be equally rewarding for given bag sizes and such, but that remains to be seen. But the lock-in rewards for pTGC, in my estimation, are going to be, we need price appreciation and obviously people to nuke their locks, but they could be life-changing. They could be significant. We will find out in due time. But here's a calculator that we can use to estimate that. All right, watch this. I'm just going to, let me pull it up and then lock calculator, hold up. All right, now we know from history that there's a certain amount that gets unlocked in any given 30-day period. It's about 400 million tokens. Okay, I'm tracking all this in a spreadsheet. 400 million tokens gets unlocked. And then we know how much goes to lockers. Well, that would be 120 million. And then we know how much, our portion of the locking pool is, because we know how many tokens are locked. Okay, so we can estimate how much would go to a certain bag size. And we built this into a calculator. So what we do is we input, let me show you, we input the simulated unlock amount, 395 million. That was what was unlocked. And this is actually a little bit high right now. So I'm going to adjust that. 132 billion tokens are locked right now. And let's say you lock 100 million and the price is now $1. We're going straight to $1. And let's say you're in 10-year locks. You're going to earn 89,512 tokens. Did you guys understand that that's 89,512 bucks? Because each token is now worth $1. Look at that, man. Estimated value, $89,512 for locking 100 million tokens. Well, if you lock 1 million tokens, who's my friend up here? Gandalf, if you lock 1 million tokens, let's see what that would be. It'd be $895 at $1. And every 10x that you do in pTGC is a 10x in estimated value. So big risk, because you're risking nuking 30%, but huge reward. I mean, the locking of pTGC, it could be, wow, it could be one of the most lucrative things in all of crypto. Kurt Gallagher, we did that. You're watching, you're a little bit behind, I can tell. Well, we actually did it, and it ended up being like $4. Locking could be one of the most lucrative things in crypto. I mean, for passive income, you know what I mean? Bro, it blows my mind. It really does. So we got through all the reflections. Does anybody have any questions? We're going to hit some slides. I want to hit some slides here. Man, I'm working on this book, guys. I've written a book about the greatest currencies. The manuscript is done. I have 50 illustrations that are composed of, a lot of them, it's just all these slides, and they're all going into the book. And in addition to the illustrations, I have artwork that's going into the book, and it's all aliens. It's alien, black and white, grayscale aliens all going into the book. And there's a gal in, I hired a gal in Pakistan to do all that for me. And she's going to be doing that this week. So hopefully I will have a finished book by the end of this week. And then I got to print one, get my hands on it, review it. And then once it's done, guys, I'm going to give everybody a link and you can go buy one and just enjoy. There's going to be stuff in the book that it's mostly for data head nerds, people, I'll be honest, but I threw the art in there just to entertain the other mentalities, mindsets, but I want it to be a good book. So that has been taking up a lot of my time and taking my time away from working on these. But actually I've been working on these slides a lot, making a lot more slides because of the book. So, but I've just got slides that are outdated and halfway done and stuff. So, but let's pick a few out. Look at this market cap comparison from August of last year through July of this year. Market cap performance of pTGC, UFO, and then the 4 quarters. Boy, am I glad I am holding pTGC and UFO. Boy, am I glad. I mean, it almost causes cognitive dissonance. It almost does. And maybe it does in some people. Tripod says the moon math is harder to understand because it's hard to know if the liquidity would be there. How would the liquidity not be there? Because it's hard to know if the liquidity would be there. Well, the liquidity is low right now. Like we have great liquidity on a chain that has done nothing. So when the chain does something, it's to withdraw. People are withdrawing every day. And I don't see any problems. I have not heard of any problem of anybody having problems withdrawing from liquidity. I mean, look at the pTGC. Go to, let's not look into. Give me a second. Secreto Bank. Go to secretobank.com and look at the liquidity. Look at, let's see. Like if you wanted to exit the UFO pTGC pair or the pTGC WPLS pair, that's $2 million in liquidity right there to withdraw. So I don't see any issue. And the same with UFO. UFO has very thick liquidity with PLS, $2 million. I mean, if there are people having $85,000 a day to withdraw, that's a lot. Yeah. But once we get to that point, Tripod, where people are exiting $85,000 a day, this is the thing, and I'm not the best to answer this. I'll be perfectly honest, Tripod. Jump on Spaces tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific and ask Zen these questions. He would love to answer these questions, and he will answer them masterfully. I'm fully confident. Or jump into the Telegram chat. And I'm sorry to ditch it. I'll try to answer. But by the time people are looking at exiting $85,000 a day, I mean, those liquidity pools are going to be so massive. I mean, just a 10x on the whole chain, and those liquidity pools do a 10x. So, and what happens is when people exit these positions, when they exit their positions, there's everybody on the sideline. Have you guys seen pTGC take a big dump? I don't mean like a big dump, but like somebody sells a bunch of coins and then everybody's just buying it right back up because people are waiting for these tokens, just like anything, but yeah, I don't subscribe to this concern about liquidity because I've heard the guys smarter than myself talk about it. So there you go, Tripod. There's your redneck answer. But yeah, man, I'm with you. You're doing your homework, and everybody should be. So yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for asking the question and challenging the prairie banana. And I hope to see you on Spaces and get that answered properly. Okay, let's have a look at a few more slides and we'll shut it down. I can like barely see my slides at the bottom here. There's some that I'm familiar with and such. Oh, look at this. Volume and price performance. pTGC price is up 1,200%. Volume is up 900%. UFO up 900% price. Volume up 260%. Pulse price down 1.2%. Volume up 200%. So what does that mean, guys? What does this mean? What is this going to look like next year? This is from August through July of this year. What's this going to look like next year? When Pulse price does 100x and its volume does who knows what? Come on, man. You know, the writing's on the wall. These machines are so pre-prepped and pre-staged. It's just mind-boggling where this thing could go. And I've got so many slides here that are juicy, good slides, but I'm just going to skip to the last one. You guys probably know what this is. The last slide, because we've been going for almost 2 hours. I want to tell you guys, and I end every stream with this. You've heard Prairie Banana be so excited about PulseChain, but I'm going to wrap it up in this. pTGC and UFO are well-oiled machines. They've been operating flawlessly for each of them for over a year. pTGC coming up 2 years in October 11th. It'll be 2 years of flawless operation. UFO, it'll be 2 years this coming May. These are well-oiled machines. And we have watched these. We have forecasted their performance like a year ago, 18 months ago, and then they overperformed our forecast. Okay, I'm speaking from the founder and some of the guys that are higher up the food chain than me, if I can put it that way. Outperformed our forecast. The whole while, PulseChain has been going down, losing users, money exiting the chain, blood red everywhere. And the Gray's currencies have been like walking up a down escalator. And it is possible to go from the bottom to the top on a down escalator. But that's what we've been doing. And we've been crushing it. Go look at any other token. My challenge remains, go to my Twitter and find me a token that has outperformed pTGC and UFO. Or pTGC for the challenge. There's not one. There is not one. So what am I getting at? Well, if we're forecasting if we are recommending JIC bags, which is 1 million tokens or whatever you can get your JIC bag just in case. If we're recommending JIC bags for pTGC and probably for UFO, it's because we've seen these things outperform in an underperforming market, PulseChain. So we're anticipating them to overperform in the performing PulseChain. Okay, so at this point in time, pTGC are like a Lamborghini sitting at the light, just revving the engine. And we got $100,000 in volume today. Last year, it was $5,000, so we've improved. But the chain hasn't done nothing. It's actually down from where it was last year. So when the chain takes off, our Lamborghini that we're just sitting there tapping on the gas, itching to go, is going to look like this. Whoop. It could look like this. That's what the machine's going to look like, guys, when this chain goes. When this chain pops, I hope you have your bags. I hope you got your bags packed. I hope you got got the carry-on stowed up there, and I hope you're buckled in and got your tray in the upright position and your seat back right up, because it's going to be good. I'm excited. I am excited. I am optimistic. More so than any other token on the chain, I'm optimistic about these because of what we're riding on. PulseChain. And let's get out there this week and support Richard Hart, his tokens. And let's go crush it. Let's help him with that marketing. Let's be a welcoming place when people come into the Gray's currency. When they come onto PulseChain, let's be a welcoming place. Let's be sure and vote at plsfolio.com and vote on Deck Screener. And guys, I think that's it. Unless you guys got any last second comments or questions, I appreciate that. The Gray Gazoo, Gray Banana is a well-oiled Gray's educating machine. We're soon to be a well-oiled PulseChain educating machine starting this week, probably Thursday. All right, guys. It has been real. It has been fun. It has been real fun. Hope you guys have a good evening. Jump on Spaces tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and let's have a conversation with the founder. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.